Nature versus nurture. Which one do you think affects us more? Is it our natural abilities that we're born with? Or is it through our life experiences, ourselves being nurtured in certain ways? Well, I'm not here to debate on which one's superior. If you think about it, nature is much more than what people think it is. Nature is something more. Nature is more than just our IQ or just our height. It's more than our personal appearances. Nature is about how we are smart, not just how smart we are. Nature is our personality, our strengths, our weaknesses, what we love. On the other hand, nurture is everything that leads us to this point right now. So that includes our friends who we're friends with, right? And nurture is also how our parents raised us, how we react to certain losses, how we react to victories and failures. That's nurture. And if there's one thing I know for sure is that nature is useless if we don't nurture it. So now you might be wondering how I ended up here, standing on a TEDx stage, being invited as one of the speakers. I myself am pondering that as well. But if there's one thing I know for sure, it's that I was able to nurture my own nature. And that's how I ended up here. So this is my story. My name is Enrique Owen, and let's unravel. So I was born in Tangerang, 2001, and I was born in a very loving family. My mom and dad, they loved me so much. I also have a bigger sister, so they're always there for me. They have always provided the best education for me. And I grew up with so many things and I was so content. And as a result, I was a high achiever. I was the smartest kid in class. So I've always been in front and I would receive trophies and I would bring my trophies home. And my mom would always be very proud of me. Because of what? Because she is an Asian. So Asian parents, they tend to be angry at us for not studying, right? So she would always force me to study, or I will take your toys. She would say things like that. So I have no option. I have no choice to other than to study. And so as a result, I got trophies and I ranked first in class. So I was very proud of it as well. And looking back, I'm very grateful for that. And at school, during junior high school, I was also very happy. I am a happy kid. I am a cheerful one. And I felt loved by everyone. My friends, they love having me present. And also my mom, my dad, my teachers, everyone around me. But one day, my mom and my dad, they went home and they brought me some bad news. So they told me, we're going to move not to another city. So we're going to move from Tangerang to a city called Pematang Siantar. So it's in North Sumatra. The culture is quite different. So you might get a bigger picture of what I actually experienced back then. So I had to say goodbye to my friends. It was very, very hard. It was very hard to say goodbye to everything, to my old self, even. I had to say goodbye to my friends, to my old self, to who I was. So when I finally entered a new school, I did not know who I was. Who am I? I tried to become myself. I tried to become who I was back then, but I could not do it. They seem to not want to accept me as who I am, perhaps because of the different culture. And I don't blame them for that. I was just not being me. And as a result, I've always tried to become someone else I'm not. So I would be someone that they would accept, that they would hang out with. But that didn't work either. So as a result, from being ranked first in class, I was one of the quote unquote dumbest kid in class. So I never brought any more trophies home. And as a result, as you might have expected, voila, my mom, she yelled at me, "Why didn't you get it? I paid so expensive for your school for what? For nothing. I want you to study, to focus on your education so that one day in life you will succeed." But I just couldn't do it. My friends were not supportive. My parents at home, even, I would also be alone. Like, no one supported me. So I was alone. And she would take away my phone. Back then, mind you, I did not have any friends. I did not have friends to hang out with. That was very terrible. That was like the downfall of my life, the lowest point. I did not have anyone. And my only friend back then was my gadgets, my phone, my laptop, and she took them away from me. So she took my only nurture back then. And life feels so boring. And because I do not know who I am, because I don't have this identity in me who keeps me moving forward, as a result, I always take these mean verdicts. I always swallow them. Whenever my friends or anyone around me said that I'm fat, I'm stupid, I can't do anything, I can't do sports, I can't play music instruments, I would take that and validate myself as one, as someone worthless. I can't do anything. And what I want you to know here is that never, ever let anyone determine who you are. Never let anyone define what you can do. Because if you do that, because if you hear too much from other people, you tend to limit yourselves to certain thresholds that we cannot surpass. So I realized that. And it took me too long to realize. And I was alone. I was always this kid who sits in front of the class and studies but still remains stupid. I did not get anything. Why? Because I only studied because my parents told me to study. Because my mom always scolded me if I don't study. So as a result, I do things because I want other people to be happy about it, not because I want myself to be happy about it. I did not have goals. I wasn't someone who wants my own goals, but other people's goals instead. And don't ever do something just because you want to be validated by other people, just because you want other people to say yes or to accept you. You need to accept who you are. We need to know our nature, who ourselves are. So finally, during senior high, I finally realized that my mom, though she knew what's best for me back then when I was still little, and I had to listen everything she said, and I'm very grateful for that. Once I grew up, once I have these many experiences, she is no longer there 100% for me. So she don't know what I truly need. And I can no longer rely on her 100%. Same thing goes for you guys. Don't rely on other people 100%. You need to know yourselves. The only person who knows yourself better than anyone in this world is yourselves. So I told her, Mom, trust me. I will prove it to you. Let me do my own thing. Let's do it my way now. So don't take my phone if I don't study, because I will know how to manage my time. I will know when to study, when to play games, and when to hang out with people. And as a result, I bring again the trophies home. So that was the first time ever getting the third rank in junior high and also high school combined. So finally, at last, I saw a smile on my mom's face. Though there's still this one question that I think most of you might be familiar with. Kenapa nggak bisa ranking satu? So it was irritating back then, but yeah, it happened. So yeah, I at last I brought many trophies home, some from my gaming tournaments, some from my school, and being a high achiever myself, right? But there's still this one big problem. I was still sad. I was still alone. Why? Because I could not find myself socializing with other people. Mind you, during college was the first time ever I joined an organization. So before, during my high school, junior high school, I was always alone and I would never dare to join any organization because I always prevent myself from speaking to people. I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to public speaking, when it comes to talking to new people. I would always try to avoid that. So it was very different to who I am now. And I did not realize that. I couldn't find myself. And finally, I made this big decision. I told my mom I want to masuk UGM. I want to go into UGM. And I want to study chemical engineering, while she told me to study medical instead. I told her, I'm afraid of blood. How am I supposed to be a doctor if I'm afraid of blood? And who knows that I'm afraid of blood if it's not myself, right? Nobody knows. So that's what I told her, and she had no option than to let me do my thing. And I still proved it to her. I told her, trust me, I will succeed in my college. So that's what I did. At first I got rejected for SNMPTN and SBMPTN, and finally I got into UGM on my final test, which is Ujian Mandiri. And I never gave up, and I made it. Not only did I enter UGM, but I also was the first best graduate of my school. So I got first rank at last. And I also got the first the highest national exam score of year 2019 in my city, Pamatang Siantar. And so I entered UGM with my new self. I want you to know here, take this. Your nature is something dynamic, so it can change over time. It will evolve. So who you are now might be different to who you are tomorrow because every day you will always learn something new. So the nature that I brought into college is way different than the nature that I brought into school. Why? Because I have been through so many rejections. I have been through so many failures, people not accepting me, and all those things. So I am stronger, way stronger now. So adapting feels so light. It's different now, and I'm happy about it. Though balancing all the very rigorous schedule is quite hard for me as well. And from never joining any organization at all into joining 5 organizations during my first semester. I joined 5 organizations, I joined 2 volunteering events, and I joined many other things as well. And somehow, due to all this busyness that I experienced, I felt happy about it. I felt happy. I enjoyed every single moment of it. And finally, I realized my passion to socialize with other people, to work on a project, to actually find out something about myself. A leader. I found a leader inside me. Finally, I found a leader, a natural leader, someone who can lead myself and also later lead other people around me. And I would not have found that if I stayed in Pematang Siantar. But I finally was brave enough to go into UGM, and finally I realized that. And so I started to introduce myself to new people. I started to join organizations. I started as a staff. And then the next year, in my second year, I took so many new opportunities as well. I started raising up into like a leader of the division. And then the third year, I became the president of an organization in my campus. And on my final year now, I became the president of a nationwide organization. From someone who has never joined anything, any organization before, who was always very shy to speak in front of the public, to now standing here on a TEDx stage. Because of what? Because I know my nature. I finally found out who I am, what I want, and I chase after it. I do something about it. I nurture it. And along the way, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. So we also burn out along the way. Uh, there are many failures. I had to be rejected multiple times on different occasions for my scholarship application. I got scammed for my exchange program, and I failed so many internship applications as well. So I finally burnt out one day. But I've been through worse. So I've been through so much worse things. So this is not something that would stop me from moving forward. I know that if I keep on trying, keep on doing things, I would eventually thrive and I would eventually succeed. And as a result, I received so many things. I got a scholarship for my undergraduate degree, fully funded. And I also got a scholarship to study at the University of Pennsylvania in the United States of America for free. I even became the president of ISMA AC now. And I also received an internship after so many failures that I faced in my dream company. So I thrived despite many failures. So what you can learn from here is that you need to always be focused on your goals. If there's one tip that I would like to share with you as a successful college student, I'm self-proclaimed, is that you need to always put your mind to grow. Always grow. Always find something out there. Always seek for new opportunities for growth. Don't ever let people push you down. Don't ever let people say that you can't do anything. And don't ever wait for other people to grab your hand and take them with you. So do something about it. Know your own nature. Know what your personality is. Know who you are. Know what you like. And in the end of the day, nurture it. Do something about it. Well, don't do something about it. Do everything in your power about it. So, my friends, we are the future generation of this country. So we need to do everything in our power to make it succeed as well. We all have our own goals, our own targets. We want to survive. We want to be successful. We have our dreams. I once had my dream to study abroad, and I did it. Because of what? Because I finally knew my passion for organization, and I keep on doing it. I pursued it. And that's why I end up here, being able to speak in front of you guys. And I am now brave enough to do so because I have my experiences to share. If I stopped when I was being stalked by other people saying that I can't do anything, when I'm worthless, where will I end up now? I don't even know. I wouldn't even imagine myself doing that. So always try to find out who you are. Always try to find out what your nature is, what you like, what you love. Life is full of trials and errors. Try everything. During my first year, I joined 5 organizations, and those are just some random organizations. Some like encouraging us to climb up the mountain. And I myself am not a physical person, so I hated it. And I ended up leaving because I finally knew that I'm not passionate there, but I'm passionate in somewhere else. And I proceeded. I decided to stay, and I developed my nature. I nurtured it. And so that's how I ended up here, standing on a TEDx stage. That's how I was able to nurture my nature, find out myself. And sometimes in life, your people around you, your friends, even your parents, they do not know what you truly want. They do not know what's best for you. So, what do you need to do about that? Again, you need to find out your own nature by yourself. You need to know what you like. You need to know what you want. And only until then could you try to lead yourself, try to nurture it, try to find out something, some way, like a cheat code for you to be able to nurture it well. And trust me, the next thing you know after you do that is that within a blink of an eye, you will be the next one standing here on a TEDx stage. Thank you.